Ultimate chess move or just petty?
Once again, your ex-wife is going on tour with Katt.
On everybody win. I hope the tour is great.
I love that. So you are supportive of her. Thank you, Mr. Hart. I appreciate you.
What's up, guys? It's Bad Decisions, where we watch people make
bad decisions.
It's your boy Sher.
It's your man Jay.
So in the game of love and war, nothing quite strikes like someone messing with your ex. How do you feel about this? Katt Williams taking Kevin Hart's ex-wife on tour with him.
So I don't think he cares. You said in love and war, there's no love here. So they say the opposite of hate, opposite of love is indifference, not hate. So if you're with someone and they're just angry and they're pissed off, they still have some emotions tied to it, to the relationship, for example. But when you just don't care, you're indifferent, which it seems like he is.
I don't have time to be angry.
When you go on the bus, I don't, what's my point? My point is I don't think Kevin Hart really cares about what his ex-wife does at this point. I don't think he cares.
Do you think that this was intentional to get to Kevin Hart?
Get to him how? Like, emotionally?
Yeah. Like rile him up?
Maybe, but I don't think he cares. I really don't think he cares.
I actually would have to agree with you. Yeah, I would say that it does seem like he generally doesn't care. Because, like a baby mother and a baby father, they're always going to be connected, right? They're always going to be intertwined because they have children. They're always going to be in each other's life. And sometimes these people, they'll go back and forth. They'll sleep with each other and whatnot. But there are some cases where people are actually relieved in situations like this, right? And the reason why I would say that is think about if you're Kevin Hart and your baby mama is taking you in for child support. Her actually going on tour with him might actually help reduce his child support.
Speaking of child support, I think his daughter that he has, he has a son and a daughter with him. If I'm not mistaken, the daughter has to be older than 18. I'm not sure, but I would guess she's over 18. And the son is not very close to it. So as far as child support goes, he's probably almost finished
on his way. Yeah, he's probably
support.
On his way out.
So he has his own family now, aside from the one he has with her.
Yeah.
And obviously, objectively speaking, Kevin Hart is winning financially.
He's good.
So he has a family. He has the money. He's almost done child support. Like I said, I don't know why he would even care.
Yeah. So you don't think this was like a check move made on Katt Williams' part?
No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
So, like, what impact does Katt Williams having Kevin Hart's ex-wife going on tour with him have on Kevin Hart? On his career, on his family, on anything?
I mean, it would only be a mental thing, pretty much, just to get to him. But it's like what we said before, man. I don't think Kevin Hart is bothered by this at all. I think he's more like, hey, yo, dude, take her off of me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, also, I think people got to put this in consideration that this might have actually been not done in malintent. Because think about it, if Kevin Hart's wife was actually a comedian and was kind of like trying to do that prior to her going on tour, maybe he was just like, you know what, she's cool. I can kind of understand her having a hard time because she's in the shadow of Kevin Hart. She's Kevin Hart's ex-wife. She's having a hard time coming on. Let me just help her out. So I kind of understand if it's like that too. If it's like she's never done comedy before and he's just doing it just to F with her, then I think it's messed up. But ultimately, I don't really think this is a bad decision either way. I think this can do nothing but benefit Kevin Hart. If anything, it would just add more material for a stand-up. So,
ooh, that's a good take.
Yeah, I mean, he does it with everything. You gotta think when he cheated on his wife not too long ago. Why? I mean, I guess it was 2-3 years ago. Well, when he cheated on his wife, he used that in his stand-up. So.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen the Kevin Hart stand-up in a long time, but that's what comedians do, though.
Yeah,
they talk about life, their life, other people's lives, things they notice, and they notice in the world and they make fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at a certain point in time, right, as a comedian, especially when you get famous, because here's the thing about a comedian. We laugh at comedians because they know how to make everyday situations seem funny. Mm-hmm. And I think when someone gets to a point where they get so famous to a point where they can't really relate to the average person, that it gets harder. So I think it's good when comedians talk about the real life, like Kevin Hart. He's talking about cheating. Okay, like, you may not be able to relate to him in regards to paparazzi and selling out shows, but you can relate to, being cheated on or maybe cheating on someone. So, I mean, so I think that's what good comedians do.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with that. I mean, like Dave Chappelle, for example, he talks about current events. You
Yeah.
know? So he doesn't talk about himself necessarily as much. He does sometimes.
Yeah.
But mostly it's about, things that I'm not going to talk about here because...
But now when I think about, I don't think Dave Chappelle has really ever really talked about himself. Now I think about it. I'm thinking his stand up.
He'll drop like things like he'll talk about his son, like he ate his son's
Oh yeah,
sandwich
yeah,
and his wife being annoying.
I do remember that. And there was this, there was
like that.
there was the story where like I think his son was like a big fan of Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
so we'll talk about like
Yeah.
but he's not like Kevin Hart talks about pretty much only himself.
that's true.
But I think it's also one of Kevin Hart's strategies because he doesn't want to offend people. I think he's that real.
It's hard.
You know what I mean?
It's hard when you're like too famous to the point because then it's like you really can't say anything. And I don't know if too famous is the word for it, but maybe it's like too clean cut.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what
clean-
it is.
clean
That's
cut.
What it is. That's what it is.
You know, for example, like
That's what it
it's
is.
just like Will Smith. Like Will Smith is in such a decline right now just because he was so clean cut, and then now it's like they're trying to bring him down. Where opposed to like if Lil Boosie said the same thing as Will Smith said, no one would care. People would be like, all right, whatever. Like that's Boosie.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That's what it is. So
But ultimately, you're gonna say good decision, bad decision.
what? Kevin Hart or
Katt Williams bringing Kevin Hart's wife on tour.
From what I understand, Katt Williams is known for putting comedians on, and from what I understand, Kevin Hart's wife was trying to get into comedy for a while. From what I heard, somewhere somehow, so not a bad decision. Timing's kind of off.
No, the time is actually just right. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a good decision. I'm gonna say shout out to him if it's done genuinely. If it's not to just
Yeah.
piss off Kevin Hart. So I mean, shout out to him. Shout out to Kevin Hart for being unbothered. Because there are some guys that still be very bothered. Just because someone has moved on and has another family does not mean that they still don't have feelings towards that person. That doesn't mean that they don't feel anything.
That's true.
But in this case, Kevin Hart seemed like he does not care. Like I don't think you could pay him to care.
No, I highly doubt it.
All right, guys. So this has been Bad Decisions. If you think Katt Williams made a good decision, leave a like, leave a comment. If you think he made a bad decision, leave a like and leave a comment. All right, decision makers, we're out.